Greetings, here we are with another top-down, page-through style overview video. Specifically for original Dungeons & Dragons from 1974. There was a series of booklets along with the box set, oftentimes referred to as the white box, that contains 3 original books of original Dungeons & Dragons. This happens to be supplement 4 for that set of books. This happens to be Gods, Demi-Gods, and Heroes by Robert Kuntz and Jim Ward. Robert Kuntz is still around to this day. He's actually one of the last people from original TSR. This covers various deities, demigods, and various important heroes of it all. This was published in 1976 from TSR Games, printed in the USA. I don't have any information as to what printing this is. But we have a nice little foreword from Timothy J. Kask. We have a nice little table of various gods from the Egyptian mythology here. So you see here, up here on the top, I kind of changed out my format slightly. See if I can adjust zoom so I can get all in. So you have all this nice little information on the various deities, their armor class, scores, movement, hit points, etc. I personally don't feel that it's a terribly great idea to have scores for gods, or at least scores in the territory of mortals can actually chance and hit them territory. I guess I'm in that territory of Sandy Peterson, where when you get to the great old ones and gods, the party should be so incredibly unlikely to even be able to stand a fight against a deity or a great old one. It should be absolutely laughable. Unless those characters are ultra apex or ultra plus in their abilities. In which case, you might be able to hold a good grounding on them, and it would require very special items. So we have all the nice little handy-dandy information on the various gods, starting with the Egyptian gods, such as their preferences, their a little bit of lore, as I said before, their stats, so forth. This book is largely a deity bestiary, which is kind of weird in itself. And you go through various deities, and then you go into different territories of the world. Bast, cat goddess. You cover a pretty good chunk of the Egyptian gods here. So I had to hold the pages flat just so you could actually read them if you really wanted to. Gods of India started here, like Indra. If I remember correctly, Indra is a little... There's a lot of gods from India. Yet again, I do kind of agree that having stat blocks, like having hit points for Ruda, the god of robbers and thieves, or Kali, the black earth monster, 250 HP. Still, that is quite a bit. Magic ability, see below. Fighter ability, 20th level. Sonic ability, class 4. Yeah, they're incredibly powerful, but there's that. This is really it's really important to denote that in early D&D, I'm thinking my best guess is that they have stats for the various gods just in case the players decide to be assholes and actually get in a fight with gods. And trust me, that is a real... you know what? Honestly, a little soapbox moment right here. Any person who thinks that players wouldn't get in fights with gods doesn't know anything about D&D and players. They're either so incredibly new to the TTRPG scene that they literally have no legitimate foundation to argue against such a thing. It's just one of those things, you know. Players will fight gods. They will fight the devil. They'll fight God. They'll fight all the angels. They'll fight any deity that they get into a scuffle with. Oh, by the way, we end out with the Indian gods, and we go into the Greek gods, or Greek mythology, right here. And the only thing that's really off about this is that we didn't get more monsters before we got a bunch of gods. So, but honestly, players would eventually get in a fight with a god. It's just a matter of time. The DM just plays the god out in such a manner that it irritates the players, and then they just, we're gonna overthrow Zeus, and such and so forth. Still Greek gods / Roman gods. And then we have this nice little piece of artwork right here separating the Celtic mythos from the Greek gods. I swear that should be done more often than in this book, but it doesn't happen terribly often. So you got a bunch of the Greek deities, not Greek deities, the Celtic deities, as well as important and powerful beings in Celtic mythology. As well, and then you have Norse gods right here. So it goes from Celtic, there's a little notation down here for druids, to the Norse gods. So yeah, basically, yeah, I don't think it's intended that you go ahead and go hunting for gods, but it's just one of those standardized things, you know, that players be players, and they sometimes get really high on themselves. This is the start of the section for the Norse goddesses, and they got a nice little piece of artwork right there. They really should have included more of those little separating pieces of artwork. Oops. There's the Norse goddesses information. And it continues on into the various messengers of the gods. New mythology. A nice little pieces of artwork. You know, they could have put that artwork on the covers, on the inside, and then they could have actually had more artwork between each section to separate the different categories. You got Finnish gods and heroes, so Finnish deities. Rather interesting in itself. Slightly different format. This is one of those cases where it's a really text-heavy book, and overall, there should have been way more of this artwork here. Should have also included symbols for the various deities with them. And that would have helped out with the book. Priest of the Golden Peacock. Right here. Demon of the Black Hands. Star of Korra, Flame of Knives, Book of Skelios, Purple Lotus, Orichalcum. I believe this is the section where it starts listing. Got Giant Magnets and Vampire Gorgon of Alphabet, Well of Skelios. So you have basically like a list of just general monsters like krakens and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it kind of seems to morph into a list of various items. Golden Serpent Belt, Claw of Nurgle, Yarn's Gem, Pictish Bag of Demons, Octopus Demon, Elric and the Mess of Melbourne storyline. So you have this section right here, and then this section right here. So this book is this book probably could have been better organized and more clearly designed, with more obvious classifications on various things. Because you have to it looks to be, it's one of those books that you literally have to read the entire thing through end to end, just to get to the point of actually like, oh, okay, they kind of mix items in with monsters mixed with gods. Items are usually, and monsters are usually associated with the gods of the various planets. Oh, Mist Giants. Armor class 6, move 8 inches. Hit points 6 dice, or 6 d8s. Alignment Chaos, magic ability none. Fighter ability of 10th level. Sonic ability class 6. That might be a nice inclusion into... We're up to like page 58 in this thing. Black Crystal Door, that's neat. Vampire Trees. So we have that section right there. That section right there. Huanti, God of War. I think we, looks to be Eastern Mythos right up here. So we just got into the Eastern Mythos section on page 62. Oops, get my hand out of the way. Yet again, mostly deities and gods. And then at the back end of that, you have some more of the unique monsters to Eastern Mythos. And then you have, after the monsters, you got unique items such as Dancing Sword of Lightning, Cannon of Changes, Fire Gems, Jade Scepter of Defending, the 5 Fire 7 Feather Fan of Defending, Wind Fire Wheels, Giant Black Pearl, Yin Yang Mirror, Iron Wand, Then we got a piece of artwork for Odin, which is kind of weirdly placed back here because we got the Eastern mythos monsters and items and gods over here. We got Odin, which is a Norse god, and they could have just easily stuck that piece of artwork by the Norse gods. And we got a page for notes, 2 pages actually, and other fantasy releases by TSR. And this is clearly they have reorganized and reduced down the range of products that they offer at TSR at this point in time. And they more or less focused in on more tabletop role-playing games and expansions to original Dungeons & Dragons, as well as a bigger section advertising the Dragon magazine. I've generally noticed that at various points in times that TSR kind of has this weird pattern of expanding out and then reducing up, and failing to continue to support their side products. You got another TTRPG, Star Empires and Star Probe here. I believe Star Probe is actually the oldest ever sci-fi tabletop role-playing game ever. TSR is loaded with a lot of firsts in itself. No artwork on the back cover, no artwork on the inside covers. This book it has a lot of interesting information. It takes a short while to mentally get or remember the formatting structure in which they put this book together. It goes by each different grouping of deities around the world, in the real world, and some fantasy novel deities. It starts with the major gods, then the demi-gods and heroes, and then you have some monsters, and then you have a few magic items, and then it starts into the next section. And some sections have more of one thing or the other. Some sections have a good mix of all 4 categories, having gods, demigods, heroes, and magic items. Gods, demigods, heroes, monsters, and magic items. That's actually 5 sections. And then some of them only have representation of 2 or 3 of those. So there you go. Overall, this book is much lower on the tier rating for this set. It's probably in that 3.25 territory. It's perfectly usable. You can use it for original Dungeons and Dragons. It's definitely something that's more mythic or high tier level adventuring for original Dungeons and Dragons. So if you happen to have a party that has made it to level 10 or beyond, then you're definitely wanting to slide towards wanting to use this book. The only catch is that you're going to have to do a bit of reading through the entire book to decide which section you want to follow, or you can just go ahead and mix it all together. This book is definitely lower on the priority scale. Pretty much the priority scale of the original Dungeons and Dragons books pretty much follows highest priority is the original 3 books plus Chainmail, then Greyhawk, then after that Blackmoor. Eldritch Wizardry slides in after that, and then this book. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, and this video happens to be a top-down page-through style video, this is not the typical format I usually do videos in. So if you don't like this one, this style, tell me in the comments below. If you prefer my more sit in front of camera, hold up book, list out some things and show you a few pages and then go from there style, go ahead and tell me so in the comments below. And see you next time, and have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month.